Hello everyone, in this tutorial we will see what is Model View Controller MVC. So basically it's a pattern most of the websites are using nowadays. So we will explore what is Model View Controller. So this is an architectural pattern proposed in 1979 by Smalltalk, and it decouples data and presentation. So important thing that we want to understand is that like in any web application, we have some data and we do require its presentation, right? MVC decouples data and presentation. And obviously by decoupling data and presentation, it would ease the development process. So this sort of thing is presentation like view and controller, and obviously data is at model side. So presentation, what is presentation? View is the user interface. You can say that HTML form, right, containing a few text boxes or username password form thing. So this is some sort of presentation, and controller will take that information from the presentation, from the view. Okay, so whenever we submit our data, then this data will go to the controller, and what to do and how to deal with this data, then controller and model will decide about this thing. So data model is the database. So once controller have that data, then it will transfer that data to the model, and it depends on the application. That might be that model could submit that data to the database, or might be it can change some view, right? So example control flow in MVC. So first of all, user interacts with the view user interface, right? And controller handles the user input, often a callback function attached to user interface elements. So just like a input form, so this view user interface will interact with the controller when we submit that form. Then controller updates the model, right? And view uses model to generate new user interface. To explain it much better, for example, we have one username and password form. It is a view, and when we submit our information, right, it will go to the controller, and then on the basis of that credentials authentication, and let's suppose that credentials are correct, then it means that view has to be changed. View has to be changed with the home page or information of that particular user, right? Just like on the Facebook, when you log in, so you provide username and password, and then this information goes to the controller, and if that information is correct, then it will update the model, and technically that model would contain all the information of your account, your friends information, right, your timeline information. So then this model, then the home page, that view would use that model to update or generate new user interface for the user. Obviously user interface would be waiting for user interaction. So I can explain in this way as well. Like let's suppose this is HTML form, right? Username, password, authentication form, right? So this is your view, or user can interact with this form, right? So when you will submit your information, it will go to the controller, right? Then controller will ask model to check user authentication, right? So it will ask model what to do, and if that model says user is a valid, uh, having valid username and password thing. Then it will say OK status to the controller. And then controller will ask another model to send or to fulfill the data required for home page. Okay. So then this model will update that data, and then new view would be generated. New view. So in the Facebook example, this is your Facebook login form. You are submitting to the controller. Controller is just discussing it with the model. And if it says, okay, data is fine, or credentials are fine, then it will generate a new model, and it will contain information about user, number of friends, or posts that want to show on the main page, right, or home page. Then it will change the new view for the user. So model represents an object, or Java plain old Java object, or Java bean carrying data. So basically in this course we are talking about Java beans. They are just a one object of like one entity having attributes, its setter and getter methods. In upcoming tutorial we will say how to create Java beans and how to use Java beans. So model can also have logic to update controller if its data changes. So that's why like you after authentication and all the stuff, so it can tell or it can update controller what to do next, right? Then view represents the visualization of the data that model contains. Controller. Controller acts on both model and view. It controls the data flow into model object and updates the view whenever data changes. It keeps view and model separate, right? So basically it keeps business layer and logic layer separate. This is another picture of MVC by Wikipedia, in which we can see that controller can manipulate model, and then model updates view, and that's why user can see it, right? So user uses controller and all the stuff. So this is a basic model view controller architecture in Java. So here we have servlets. Servlets would be working as controller in our web application. And for model, we will be using Java Bean. Okay, any Java object like any Java old style or old plain objects, right? Having attributes, their setter and getter methods. And view would be in JSP. View could be in HTML, but obviously we want some dynamic views that could be updatable. So here we are saying that JSP is view form part of thing. And we know that view or that JSP is run by servlet container, but it will be shown on the browser to the user as a view. So in any Java web application, JSP is a view, servlet is a controller, and Java Bean is a model.